Okay guys, question 3. We've got some simplifying algebra in part A, and we're also looking at some solving equations in part B. So take a few minutes, have a go at those, and I'll come back in a second with the answer. Right then, part A, we are simplifying. We are simplifying this algebra here, so we're just trying to look for things that are the same that we can combine. So at the moment I can only see the numbers 7 and 8 and everything's been multiplied together. So 7 times 8, I'll start with that because I can do that. 7 8s are 56. And then I've got some letters that are being multiplied as well. So if you know in algebra that when you times two letters together, it looks like this. We just glue them together. That actually means A times B. AB in algebra means A times B. So we've got two letters here that are different, and we need to times them with our 56 that we've already made from the 7 and the 8. So we just put them on the end, and we write them alphabetically. That's the conventional thing to do. Okay, so that's part A done. Part B is a bit more complicated. We've got to solve this equation, and that means we need to find out what is x worth here, okay, to make the equation true. I'm going to do a slightly simplified version first, and then I'll do this one. So we've got x divided by something equals a value. So let's do x divided by 2 equals 5. This is more obvious and will help us sort of pick out the method. It's always a good idea to simplify a problem if you don't understand it. So I've got something divided by 2 equals 5. Now I know 10 divided by 2 equals 5, so the answer is 10. What's the link between 2 and 5 and the answer 10? Well, if you multiply these together, you get 10. So there's kind of a clue as to what we've got to do. But as a method, if you want to get rid of a divide by 2, you do the opposite. You need to times by 2. Okay, you always do the opposite, and you do it to both sides. So timesing both sides of this equation by 2, that will get rid of this 2 here. So times by 2 and divide by 2 cancel out, and you're left with x, so I'd write that underneath. And then on the right hand side you have to actually do 5 times the 2, which gives you the 10. So that would be my answer to that version of the equation. This is the same thing, just more complicated values here. So x divided by 5. Now to get rid of the divide by 5, I need to times both sides by 5. A times by 5 and a divide by 5 cancel out. I'm left with just x. Now x equals 2.5 times 5. Some of you might prefer to do 2.5 times 5. That might make it easier for you to do. Okay, so either way, if I was doing 2.5 times 5 or 2.5 times 5, I might choose to break it up into 5 times 2 and then 5 times the half, or the 0.5. Okay, so I'm breaking that calculation up because it's a non-calculator paper. 5 times 2 is 10, and 5 halves, or 5 times 0.5, is going to give me 2.5, or 2.5. Okay, I'll write it as fractions as I've used fractions there. So what's 10 plus 2.5? Well, that's going to be 12.5. Okay, or 12.5 if you did it with the decimal. I hope that's been helpful.